Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you if this game's worth their time and bandwidth.
Today's game is the Nape Retroverse Collection. 4 retro-inspired games in one collection. What a deal! Are these games worth feeling 8-bit over? Let's find out. The Nape Retroverse Collection is not, despite its description, a bunch of long-lost NES or Famicom games, but instead modern games made in the style that can also run on the old 8-bit hardware. There's 4 games here, so let's hit them all up in brief. Deployed is a 2D platform shooter, which I won't even dare compare to Mega Man. It's more just like a bunch of this type of game that existed all over this era. You move around collecting items that do nothing, kill stuff with your weapon, and fight easy bosses before grabbing an NES cart and going to the next level. It's very basic, not really a lot to it. Uchusen and Uchusen 2 are the same game, so I'm combining them. The only difference is the power-ups and color palette. It's a space shooter where the movement absolutely sucks as your ship has weird slippery physics for some reason. You travel through a mostly empty level, just dodging stuff as you can't kill enemies fast enough, and fight a single boss which is just an eye. After that, you do it again forever. That's both games. Just why? Reckonum Soul's adventure is kind of like Link's Awakening, and I should hit myself for saying that. It has the top-down style combat of that game, and the dungeons transition to 2D style platformer, which Link's Awakening also did. The concept of fusing these two ideas into an indie game is actually a really cool idea, but the game's hitboxes are absolutely terrible, enemies don't drop any health or anything, and the level design is just poor overall. Since killing enemies doesn't give any rewards, it's pretty much pointless, so all you're going to be doing is hunting keys to open doors to hunt for more keys. This could have been a good idea, instead it's abject tedium. All of these games are in the Rattlekia emulation launcher, so save states and rewinds, hooray. There's no other extras, however. And yeah, that's this thing I bought for some reason, probably because I have problems and buy every retro collection that shows up on stale. The Nape First Retroverse Collection is 3.5 games in the NES style, and I played them because I hate myself. So what I like about the Nape Retroverse Collection, well, some of the music in these games is actually pretty good. The water level from Ploy specifically has a nice mellow tune to it. Additionally, it does have all that modern stuff you get from Rattlekia emulation, so save states and rewinds as mentioned. And lastly, this is a very easy double plat should you own a PS5, since you can plat it in basically 15 minutes on both the PS5 and PS4 version. That is literally the best thing about this collection, so brace yourself, because when it comes to the bad, all of these games are terrible. Ployd is an absolutely bland platformer, Uchusen 1 and 2 is the same terrible game with awful controls and bland gameplay, and Reckonum Soul's adventure could have been decent if it had more content and its hitboxes weren't abominable. Additionally, I feel kind of lied to when it comes to this game's marketing, as it specifically says classics from the 8-bit era, which is not true at all. These are not classics, and they are not from the 8-bit era. They are 8-bit games made in the modern day in the NES retro style, so this isn't even game preservation. This is just stuff somebody whipped up. And lastly, I mean, how many times can I say this collection's bad in different ways before you get the point of this whole review? I mean, usually when I review collections, at least one of the games stands out as decent or playable, but there's literally nothing redeemable about any of these 4 games. They're like the old unlicensed games that would sneak out on the NES back in the day, which I don't know why we're making that type of game now, let alone releasing it, but here we are. As you know, I rate games here on a 3-point scale: must play, maybe consider, and don't bother. And man, what a massive waste of my time, money, and life. The Nape Retroverse Collection is basically the Action 52 of a modern 8-bit re-release. Except there's only 4 games, so I guess it's Action 4. All these games are straight up garbage, with horrible design, bland gameplay, with 2 of them being the exact same game sprite swapped. I honestly don't know why someone would put this out except as a cruel joke or some sort of psychological experiment. So unless you want 2 easy plats, absolutely do not waste your time or money on this. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Is there more to this story that I know? Was it made by like a cancer patient or something, and I'm just gonna come off as a huge jerk because of this review? I really don't know, because I couldn't find anything about it. Not even that many reviews, which is why I made this one. If you could do me a favor, please leave me a comment about a good retro collection I can check out, because I really need something to wash the taste of this out of my mouth.